to DIU Escape Room Reviews. I'm Don.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil. And we review escape rooms.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to go to Massachusetts again.
Road trip.
This is the second road trip that you and me did. The last review on our Mass trip was with your daughter and Gary were with us. We did 4 rooms.
This is our third time going to Mass.
Well, right, it's our third time going into Mass. So yeah, but it's kind of our. This one was all on a whim.
Yes.
The Mass trip where we did the 4 rooms and we hit our 100th room.
That was planned.
That was planned. This was just on a whim.
We don't do well with plans.
No, not really. We're like, yeah, you want to go do a room? Yeah, let's go do a room. Okay.
Spur of the moment, we are champions.
I said, you know what? Let's go to Massachusetts. All right, let's go to Massachusetts. So we went to Springfield's Great Escape for the second time.
Yep.
I believe we reviewed the vampire room, which was a very tough room. You definitely needed 3-4 people in that room to do it.
And that's one of my rooms that I really want to go back to.
That one I think we could go back and redo it.
I think there's enough of it talking with them that we haven't done.
Right. And whatnot. But we went and we did the archaeologist room, which I enjoyed a lot.
I did too.
This room is it's a play on Indiana Jones. The description is considered Dr. Jones's greatest unsolved mystery. A letter is found, one that will challenge your team to proceed further and access a hidden entrance. As soon as you got in, it was very immersive.
Yes.
I did get a little bit of a wow, like, this looks cool. He took his time, he did what he had to do in this room. Throughout, it was, to me, it was hit or miss, honestly. A lot of it made sense, but decor-wise didn't, to me.
Right, I think he started out, had a great plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that great plan was an overall thing, and I think some of the inner pieces, while not bad puzzles, because we didn't have the finish of
What the beginning started as.
Yeah.
There was a couple, they were like, throw you off, but not throw you off type thing. Almost like the movie theater, movie Mayhem, which I believe we did. I think we reviewed that one.
I believe we did.
Where it had that one spot you thought was that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't, and it was the other thing. That's what this was too.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. I thought it was cool. I thought actually that was a really good wow factor.
This was probably one of my favorite of that type
Yes.
wow factors
Yes.
that
Yes.
we've run into.
Yes. So definitely did have the wow factor in there. We had to use we got in, we did what we had to do. A couple things really didn't make sense, but then it did once.
Some stuff was a little bit of a leap.
A little bit of a leap, but this is where, unfortunately, we come in like with the used locks, the worn locks. You gotta take care of your props, of your stuff that you're using in the game. That's used every time you use the game. You play the game. Anybody plays the game. Stuff really needs to be taken care of.
Or if it was used in a previous game and repurposed, it has to be updated to that. We did that one puzzle in it that we read it one way, and
I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the, I'll just say it, the globe.
Yep.
Okay? It broke. It fell apart on us.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking. You really got to take care of your props.
Yeah.
Especially when they're used every day. I know which one you're talking about, which would, you know what, and I think he will change that after.
Yeah, I think he
talking to
will
us.
too.
There was one thing in there, it was block letters. Oh, I'll just say it. And it's supposed to spell out Springfield Great Escape. But as you're reading a code, you think it's a number. And because it's block lettered, it could be misstrued as 3 numbers backwards.
And it was part of a different game.
Right.
And he repurposed it greatly.
Right.
He repurposed it greatly, as opposed to other places that we've been to, that when it's something is repurposed, it's just out of place with the same old.
It's not that he repurposed it either. It's he
modified
condensed it.
Modified.
It was 3 tiers. He did it to 1.
Yeah.
Which, not for nothing. When you're gonna do that, if I saw 3 tiers there, I would have been like, "You're just trying to prove that you're smarter than everybody." When he took the 2 tiers out, he said, "That's what. Okay, now you're bringing it down to your average level of thinking."
This guy is a great guy.
He's a really nice guy.
I like talking with him before. I like talking with him after. They have a bar there. I like sitting at the bar talking with him. And what I also like about this guy, besides him being a very nice guy, and he takes pride in what he does, and he listens to what people say.
Yes.
And he does make improvements and changes to his games according to how the players, react and what they do.
Exactly.
As opposed to other places that we've gone to, which is, hey, I've built a game and I'm just smarter than you. And, then you're stuck in not enjoying it. And this guy is all about making it the best he possibly can. And the way he can make that the best is by taking his good idea and modifying it with things from the public, how they're responding to it.
Yes, I agree. Funny story with this room is that, yes, you got to use a bull rope or a whip in this room. Okay, so I get the whip and I go to use it. Now I'm figuring, you know what? If I just hold the skinnier end, I use the handle to throw it out. It's heavier. It'll do it better. Well, no. Some bitch. I end up letting go of it. I'm not even gonna say it slipped. You throw it.
Indiana Jones, you were.
Yeah. Well, Indiana Jones, you're not. So I throw it. It's in the middle of the room, and I'm like, "Yeah, we're not getting any further." I'm trying to look in the thing. Can we get another whip? The guy's like, "How did you throw it in here?" So he gave us another whip, and we did what we had to do. But that's a first. Nobody's ever let go of the whip. So I'm sorry if it's a spoiler, but I had to tell that story because it really was great. Other than that, I thought everything, again, except for the 2 puzzles that we kind of talked about, especially the one. Everything else pretty much made sense. Well, actually, there was one that didn't really make sense, but
that was our fault.
But that's also because of that block lettering. I think we got thrown off on that.
Well, because we skipped over a piece too.
You're right, we did.
And if we didn't skip over that, then everything else would have made sense.
Okay. Yeah. We did beat this room with, I don't know. Dude, this was a tight one.
This was down to...
I think there was 4 seconds left. Like, we were right there.
Because this was one of those rooms that I was done. I stopped. I says, "Oh, we only got a couple seconds left." And you were like, "No, just put it in."
Yeah, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a game that I like the beginning of it. When you first walk in, I like the wow factor of that. I like the wow factor coming out of that. And I like the ending of it.
I did too.
I thought it was a fun, a little frustrating. I thought it was a fun ending.
Right. I agree 100%. It's again Springfield Escape, Great Escape. It's right next door to the casino in Springfield. So, in the hotel directly across like the alleyway street. Great location. He's actually looking to open up another one too.
Yeah.
Or another division of it a little bit down the road.
With food.
I think he wants to make this one the food. Because he's got not a full bar, but he's got beer. I don't know if he's got whiskey.
He got bottles. I thought he had bottles.
Alright, so he's got a semi-full bar.
Actually, I don't know if he had bottles.
He wants to turn that into the bar restaurant, and the escape room would be down the road. I think is what he was saying. And he's looking to look into some kind of Star Wars themed room.
I tell you what, he's a nice guy. He has great ideas. I wish him all the luck in the world. I like talking with him. If you want a place where you could go and do a room and hang out and have a beer afterwards, definitely the place to be.
It definitely is. What do you rate it?
3.5.
I agree with you. 3.5. Again, Springfield Great Escape in Springfield, Massachusetts. So now let's move on to our next one. Which again, actually, we booked Springfield Great Escape and we booked this one. So we knew we were doing these two rooms. This one we went over to Sturbridge, which is about half an hour ride, a little over, and it's called Escape the Pike.
I like that name.
I do too. We did their Poe Dunk room.
Poe Dunk.
Because that's Poe
Poe
Dunk. Poe Dunk. Little Kid Rock for you. This room was actually, the place is owned by veterans.
Which is very cool.
Gotta say that right off the rip.
Very nice woman.
Yeah.
We didn't meet her husband.
No, we didn't.
But we met her dog.
Yeah.
They were a K9 unit in the military.
Yes.
That's how the dog plays.
Yep. And they were. It was towards the end of the night. Her voice was done. I guess her husband maybe wasn't feeling well or something. She ran the whole day, and they were booked.
I think it was Halloween, and they were.
Oh, because Halloween, they canceled Halloween due to the
storm or something.
And Halloween, that's right.
So her husband was doing something
Halloween with the kids. Or
other
something.
Responsibilities
Right.
with the kids.
And
she was there by herself,
right.
and
It was a packed day.
she was running it, and she was doing a hell of a job, and
She lost her voice.
lost her voice, but she was still very nice and friendly and made us laugh. And
Awesome game master. She
Yes.
was a really good game master. But this room is called Poe Dunk. A solar flare has destroyed the grid. Life as you know it no longer exists. Resources have run out. People struggling to survive in the midst of chaos. Is there anywhere to turn? Uncle Mike always said something like this would happen. You thought he was crazy. You remember him talking about a secret bunker. He said to go there if things got bad. Would there be relief and sustenance there? Protection from danger? It has become necessary to find out. You managed to find a way to Poe Dunk and have just found the entrance. What lies behind the door will help you thrive. You must enter in and find out. What I liked about this room, and I know you're going to say the same exact thing or just agree with me, is that you started outside the room.
love that.
Just like Do Not Disturb, you started outside the room.
Love that.
I think that's our I don't know. Third room. I'd say third room.
Not more than that.
That we started outside the room?
Yeah.
You think so? I don't. Anyway. This one was cool, and it was just stupid on my part, smart on your part, and we got it. Like, just
don't overlook the obvious.
Escape rooms. Don't overthink. So we got in, and I'm like, okay, this room looks empty. The first one was pretty frustrating, I think. It was cool. Right off the rip, it says it's a multi-room play. Rating is PG-13. Room size is medium. No handicap. No, you can't be a handicapped in a wheelchair. It's dark lighting. Deals with death, and difficulty is 4 out of 5 blocks on their website. And it's up to 8 players. 8 players is very tight in that room. Any room.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a multi-room game. I didn't think it was at first. I thought the other door to the room was an exit to go outside. But it was part of the immersion.
Yeah.
Definitely part of the immersion. Immersion was great. Immersion was through the roof.
unbelievable.
It was awesome. It was really done very well. From the beginning all the way to the end was done phenomenal. Again, like I said, I thought the first room was very frustrating. And then it was like, really? That's all you needed to do? There was a lot of red herrings in the first room.
Well, the first room was tough because it was so dark, and
Yeah.
it was. You did have that feeling of, oh, this is going to be it. You know, it's going to be a one-room thing, and this is going to be it, and it's just, you know, it is, and that kind of brings you down a little bit when you first started. But once you get out of that room, it's like a whole other world.
Yeah, yeah. And once we got into the next room, yeah, it was a whole nother world. And actually, I say this on almost every review. There was puzzles in there that we've never seen before or done before, and you had to do it a certain way, whatever. And they kind of threw you off with certain things that, you know, you thought you needed more than what you had.
Yeah. The way you're used to thinking, well, you know, when you do enough of these, you start to think a certain way because a majority of them are set up a certain way. And this one, you had to think totally different. You had to, you know, kind of forget about some of the patterns that you're used to seeing, and you know, because they have their own way that they did it, which is great. Keeps you on your toes, and you know, immersion wise, I thought it was a great room. Puzzle wise, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
What I liked about this room was a lot of things in it felt authentic.
A lot of it was authentic.
A lot of it was, and I had made that point to bring it up to her, and she said a lot of the stuff there was their stuff from being in the military.
You're right.
We had put on a flak jacket.
Yep.
I don't think that's giving anything away.
No, because you got.
You know, part
They
of
try
the
to,
game.
right, and they have two rooms. So the other room, I think it's a castle room or something, and I think you wear a cape or something like that if you wanted to. Actually, to me, the flapjack got in the way.
It was, and I'll tell you what, I had made a point after I put it on. I says, "Wow, this thing is, you know, it's heavy as hell." And I made the point of saying that to her. After a while, I just took it off, and she was like, "That's the real deal. That's
right.
That's ours. That's what, you know, we did."
Yep.
And even other little props in the room that when we've seen similar props are just all plastic and
Right.
light.
This
and
was
these were
the real deal.
heavy duty, you know, and it was nice to see it really added to that immersion of everything.
Yes.
In the way the second and third room, but more that second room was set up, yeah, that's the way that room would be set up.
It would be that. It was a bunker.
Yeah,
It was
there's
a bunker.
no doubt the way everything was laid out in there. That in my mind, I've never been in a bunker, but in my mind, that's
stuff on
exactly
television.
how it would be.
Right.
Everything
I
made
agree.
sense. Everything, you know, and
There
I
was
liked
actually there was one thing. We got into the last room, and again, this room here, we did a lot of things that normally they tell you not to do in an escape room.
yeah,
And this room, you did those things.
yes,
Nothing in the ceiling,
No.
but normally it's don't climb on anything, don't hang off anything, don't plug anything in outlets, da 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 da. Who's ever done escape rooms, you know the spiel by now. But this was opposite. I swear. We did everything except for
go through the
go
ceiling.
through the ceiling. Right. Go through the ceiling. So this room, and it really threw us for a loop too. We beat it. Couple seconds, couple minutes to go, whatever it was. We ran into this somewhat of the same puzzle as we did. We'll still review the room for Connecticut escape rooms, but kind of the same puzzle. Kind of the same puzzle. You know which one I'm talking about?
No idea.
It was the audio puzzle.
Oh yeah.
So we ran into that, and
Yep.
it's like, well, okay, we got it. Boom, 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 boom. Because we did it, not the exact same puzzle, something similar. in another escape room, but it was still cool.
Yep.
And we'll explain maybe a little bit more on our review of Escape Rooms Connecticut.
And I loved the way you had to exit the game.
Yes.
And you had to use something from other rooms to do it. And it was just a cool, one of the best exit puzzles
Yeah.
that I could think of.
Definitely. Except for the fact that the damn thing was heavy as hell. But you know what? Everything in there was originally used for something at one point in time in the military.
Yeah.
Really. And kudos. It's probably one of my favorite rooms in Massachusetts. It's right up there probably with Body Shop.
Wow, that's really going on.
Well, I liked it better than I did the Observatory. And it's like right in line maybe with the lab room there.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of that room is, but that Gate Escape. Because the Observatory was our hunter's room.
Yes. I kind of like that room.
I do like it, but I like this Podunk one just that little bit more. So it was very. I'm gonna go innovative. It really was an innovative room.
Yeah.
Especially with the props and the decor that they used in the place.
Yeah.
So,
Build what you know.
Yeah. So honestly, 1 to 5.
3.5.
3.5. 3.5 for me too. Enjoyed this room great. They're opening up a third room by the end of the year, I believe it is, right?
Yeah.
We went in October or beginning November, whatever it was. They said probably by the end of November into December, or somewhere in that general area, they're opening a third room. So now it gives us an excuse to go out back again and do 2 more rooms with them.
I think their second room now is like a Harry Potter kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like Merlin's
Yeah.
something or other. But again, that's Escape the Pike, escapethepike.com. Check them out.
And support them. They're vets.
Yeah, they're vets, veteran owned.
K9 units, so the dog is there.
Yeah, dog's cool. 3.5 from both of us. Alright, we're going to move on to our third room we did. This one was definitely on the whim. We've been there before. We did the Robin Hood. It's called Live Action Escapes in Worcester, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, they do not have it on their website anymore because they closed that room down. They ended up moving. They were on the 3rd floor of the building. Now they're in 1st floor mid. Not basement, but like in between the 1st floor and the basement almost. It's weird. And they still had rooms upstairs because they were in the process of moving. We did the Protocol, which was a second installment on this.
Yes.
They told us. We never got to do the first installment. Now they have the next installment, Patsy's Place, that's coming. And so I don't exactly remember the storyline, except for we were in his apartment. Or an apartment of some sort. We're detectives.
The storyline was there was the first game that we didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
They found out that there was a serial killer.
Okay.
This game brought us to an apartment complex.
Oh, we had to find all the evidence.
And we had to find all the evidence.
We had to find 8 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of evidence, 6 keys.
Something like that, yeah.
And this room, immersive as hell for a freaking apartment.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you need to crash for the night, you'd be more than good in there.
Oh my god. Couches were comfortable. I'll tell you what, they were. This room was it was tough, but everything you needed was in the room as long as you read the paperwork.
Right.
And as much as you and I both hate paperwork,
it wasn't bad paperwork.
This wasn't bad paperwork.
No. This was a great example of how paperwork should be.
Right.
As a matter of fact.
Right. Every time you found it, as long as you read it, you knew what had to get done,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And you really didn't need clues as much as long as you followed that paperwork.
Right.
Granted, we did take clues. We beat it with 4 minutes, 3 minutes to spare. But they don't stop the clock until they count out everything that
Right. You got to get out of the room
So-
with all the pieces, and they have to
Right.
count all the pieces.
and then they stop the clock.
Right.
So, even though the game is over with, actually we could probably tell them everything since the game's over, but I don't want to. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't. We did Robin Hood earlier. So far, this one's my favorite one there. This was a
Compared to Robin Hood? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This one was great. Computers involved. A lot of different. The one puzzle, they took the game down. They really should have redone and
It was
brightened it
very
up because it was
faded.
very faded over the years.
But if we were the last ones to run through it.
We were one of them, yeah. It is what it is, but again, this is where the whole worn locks, worn puzzles, you got to keep your rooms almost the same as when you first opened. I mean, that way it doesn't ruin any experience for anybody in there. Out of all of them, I think that was probably the toughest but worst puzzle out of the whole room.
Yeah.
Um,
Just because it was difficult to see.
yeah.
And it was so faded.
Um,
I like how this room was a great example of signage and a great example of, there was, I mean, we can say what we want, we're not doing the room anymore. A lot of times there was a study TV room kind of thing
living room.
with a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And it would have taken you a half hour to go through all the books.
Right.
And all they did was put a nice little sign up there
On each shelf.
that there's no clues in the books or whatever. Which it fit in. It wasn't obtrusive. It was just a little tiny thing.
Right.
But I appreciated it because now I didn't have to rip everything apart.
Right.
And even the paperwork, it wasn't handwritten. It looked like a police form.
Yeah.
It was typed out, but the font was big enough
Yep.
so that you could
Read
read it. And because it was typed and not handwritten, there's no, is that a 3 or is that a
E
or
right.
You knew exactly what it was. They told you what the evidence was, I believe. Or that you had to find.
Well, they told you what was on the evidence in order for you to keep.
Oh, yeah. So you didn't know
Yeah.
what you were looking for, but you knew what you were looking for.
And again, the keys, it was just, okay, at the end, we just grabbed every single key we could, and we ended up with the 6 keys.
Yeah.
Which included, and I will say, included the key to the door to get out.
Yeah.
Because they actually did lock you in.
Yeah.
But all they have to do was unlock you because they just reversed the lock on the door. And that was the key. That was the 6th key to get us out.
The last room you went into had a cool little laughing wow factor as you opened up the door.
Yeah.
And
little jump scare in there. Like, it was just a whoa.
just enough to make it
kind of like the
laugh
podunk room. It's like whoa, what the hell's over there? Like,
Yeah.
You're waiting for those things to move.
Yeah.
And I really was in the podunk room, but this one here, like it was really good.
And I also appreciated that, except for that one puzzle that was faded to the point of that it was very difficult to do. They really, even though they were taking the room apart, they really upkept
Everything
the
else,
room pretty good.
yeah. That's the only complaint I had in the room was that one puzzle.
Yeah, they could really repurpose a lot of those props, a lot of stuff that they did. I mean, it was a good room.
And not for nothing, this is the way we did this room. We both screwed up. Where everybody, no matter, even if they said, "Oh, okay, I already went through that," just still double check it. You went through the bed. Okay, I says, all right. Well, let's start looking through the bed. You're like, I already did, and I lift something up, and there was a briefcase.
Yeah.
We checked as soon as we first walked in. We're looking all over this coat rack and this, that, the other thing, and I was like, yeah, I already did that. And well, you went back and looked. There was a lockbox that we didn't find. So make sure you really look for everything in a room. And again, that was another used, a worn lock on that lockbox. Again, if the room is still running, just keep your locks up to date. They're $7, $8. I mean, and you can put any combination you need on there. So it's not like you need to, you know what I mean? Need to get one that has that thing or change your puzzle. These locks, word locks, and number locks nowadays, you can change it and make whatever word you want to make. So keep your locks upkeep your locks. They have the third installment, Protocol Patsy's Place, coming soon. I'm actually looking forward to that one.
So what?
This room.
And they have their captive one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be their game.
Right.
That's supposed to be the one that's...
And then they have Quest for the Golden Keys. And then they have two, like, childish ones, I guess. I don't know. But.
Well, one of them was a mobile one.
Oh, that's right. But with normal protocol here, what do you rate? 1 to 5?
3.
I'd say I'm going to go 3.5, I think. As frustrating as the room was, I enjoyed it. There were some elements that, it's almost the same thing we did with the bull rope we had to do with the fishing pole, which was cool. And I got the key in the first shot. I don't, there was like 3 sets of keys and you had to get the one key to unlock it. The other 2 were just, it even said it on there, dummy keys or red herrings or something. But they were the keys that you had to bring at the end. So, yeah, I'll go 3.5 on that one. I thought it was a very good room. Game Master was cool as shit.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. So our second time here,
Game Master.
Everyone we've ever talked to, from the Game Masters to the girls at the counter to whoever, has always been very friendly.
Yep.
They've been very open to us. We have our cards sitting there.
Yep.
And
yeah, our cards are. They still are sitting there too.
And they remembered our whole deal.
Yeah.
And they're just nice people. They're very friendly, great to talk to, and it's a great place to go.
It is. So again, 3.5. Not much I can say. I'm looking forward to Captive. I really want to see that, and Patsy's Place, Protocol 3.
Yeah.
Or it's showing 2, but I really want to do those 2 rooms. And that was our little mass trip. Again, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our website, DIUERR.webs.com. And if you have any questions for us, any comments for us, comment right on our video if you want. But questions for us, this, that, the other thing, you can email us.
DIU Escape Room Review, singular, at gmail.com.
There it is. Again,
you want us to come out, you got rooms you want us to do, you want us to live broadcast, beta test, something we missed, you want us to do it again, something new and improved. We are always up for a nice little adventure.
We'll do it up. DIU.
DIU, baby.
Our top 10 room show is coming. It will be 2018, 2019. The last 120 rooms that we just did, we're going to condense it down to 10. To 10 rooms. It's tough.
Somehow.
It's going to be tough, but we're going to do it. There will be some honorable mentions in it also. That will be out hopefully by the end of the year, and or beginning of the year, depending on if we get a couple more rooms in before the year is out.
It's not going to be by the end of the year.
So. Well, we only got. It's December 1st as we're recording.
Right, but now Becca's coming home.
Right, and I'm saying we got to do a bunch of rooms, so we'll see.
We'll see.
It could be by the end of the year, or beginning of next year.
Beginning of next year.
But it will be for 2018 and 19, and then it'll be a yearly show as long as we're doing escape rooms. That's about it, man. I'm down.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil. We'll see you when we see you.
Peace out.